because a lot of it from Gordon's is blocked. But in Prince Albert, I remembered what was going on because I was getting older. But in Gordon's, it's blocked, a lot of it. And I was told I can get hypnotized and, see how come. But I do remember in Gordon's, I used to sleepwalk. And so anyways, this one night, I was sleepwalking and there was a night watchman. He had a kind of a big belly. And I was sleepwalking. I bumped into him and I landed on my bum. And I woke up and I was sitting on the floor. And last thing I remember him was grabbing my hand. And after that, I do not remember anything that happened after that. I don't know, and I don't want to know what happened to me at that time. So I left it be for all these years. So to this day, I still don't want to know, because of where I'm at in my life. I wanted to rest.
Is there like one experience that would give a general idea of your entire experience at residential schools that you are willing to share?
Okay. The experiences. Well, like I said, the only experience I would, like I said, I'm openly about my sexual abuse because, like I said, I thought I was alone at the time, but when I did do, the compensation part of it, that's when I learned to speak about my sexual abuse because it was from another girl. So that was one of the hardest things I have to talk about in my life, that sexual abuse from another girl. And it took me years to talk about it, and every time I would talk about it, I would cry, I would get angry, because, I said, why me? Why did you do that to me? Like that. And I had to learn to live with that. I was ashamed, I was dirty, and, learning to talk about that sexual abuse really helped me get stronger on my healing journey about, that part of my life, because it did affect me as I got older. Like I said, Mhm. Like I said, I was married to a residential survivor. So more of that sexual abuse came in hand again, and I didn't know how to stop it. So that really affected my life, as you can see. It's still. That's what hurted me the most in the residence, was that sexual abuse. Then I had to live like that for over 30 years with my husband. And I didn't understand why. And I had to learn to live with my husband because I didn't know that happened to him in the residence. why we had that. You know, that was the most hurtful thing in my life in the residence because it continued for a year. And hurt, it hurt me. And today, still today, it hurts because I have to live with that. And yet, I can talk about it, but not get into internal of it. But yeah, it happened to me for about a year after I got moved to a different cottage, and back then nobody believed you. Because I told my best friend, and she just didn't believe me. So I left it alone for years, decades actually. But yeah, that was my life, and my husband passed away, and you know, I got to understand where he was coming from after we did our claims, and that's when I found out that he was sexually abused for many years, and we would talk about it, but it hurt him too, and that's when we separated after we had residential claims stuff. But yeah, that was one of the things that stays in my mind from residential school. That's the one thing that hurt me the most in my life.